Boom, boom.
Shaggy. They call me Mr. Bombastic, and fantastic.
Touch me on my back, she called me Mr.
Romantic, and fantastic.
Touch me on my back, she called me Mr. Smooth.
Just like the silver. I don't know that part, but I want to get.
No, we're not.
Oh my, well, no, can't you tell? I'm just like a turtle coming out to Michelle. All right, now let's start now.
Yeah, now we can get goofy after that.
Yeah, it was all right warm up. We tried. Like, probably if we do record this part, then it'll be good.
Hey, you know we're recording an episode of the God's Plan podcast.
Shut up,
dude. We are. Yeah.
Did we fall into this again?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was recording.
The whole time?
The whole time, yeah.
Even all the lyrics I didn't remember?
Even it didn't record those.
Oh, okay.
Because you didn't remember them?
Yeah, if I don't remember, it didn't happen.
All right. Did you know we have a cool guest coming on the show today?
Well, according to the God's Plan podcast doctrine, we only have the cool guests.
We have the coolest guests because you're listening to the God's Plan podcast. Welcome to the plan, episode 16. I'm your host and humble narrator, Eric Borno.
And I am your host and not so humble narrator / SoundCloud rapper XX Pumpgassion Triceratops XX at AOL.org.
Dude, I heard about you through this guy named Raz.
Oh.
Yeah, he's on SoundCloud too.
It's a rough platform.
So this is the show where we just have informal discussions about life.
Informal discussions about nonsense.
Today we are joined with a very special man. He is a politician, and he's actually going to be a professional comedian one day.
He's also a scholar and the man who is going to help us set the record straight on the Adam Spaghetti incident.
Who could we be talking about?
I don't know. Who is it?
None other than the Corey Geisman. Welcome to the show, Corey.
What is up, gentlemen? How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
It's good to hear from you today, Corey.
It's good to be here, for sure.
You sound good. Like, you sound sexy.
I think I can smell some mint in your voice.
Dude,
you're sipping on some mint
smell
tea?
That? Wow, I did just brush my teeth, so that is... You have a strong nose over there, my friend.
Or did you smoke a bunch of menthols?
It gets the same
Whoa,
effect.
dude, my grandma might listen to this, so...
Oh.
She's actually the one who gave me the menthols, so yes.
So my parents will get pissed.
All right.
Guys, dude, why'd you have to cross off half of your agenda? Were those all menthol jokes?
I'm throwing out the script, man.
Those are all literally menthol jokes? What are we going to talk about?
That's actually why I came on today, specifically to talk about menthol. It's the only type of cigarette that our youth should be smoking these days. We need to lower the smoking age. No, I'm just kidding. That is
if a baby
not
wants to
stance.
smoke, it should have the freedom to smoke in a free society like America.
This is America. Yep.
I don't have any menthol jokes anymore, so I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about. But I do have some cool jokes about the TV show Avatar: The Last Airbender. Have you heard of it, Corey?
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick nap during this part.
I'm a big fan of that show. Yes, massive fan.
Okay, so folks, if you haven't heard of it, Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's a cartoon, but it's not your average cartoon. It's not for kids. It's really cool. Maybe it is for kids, but it still is really cool. And basically it's about a kid who just becomes some super powerful dude, and he can master all the different elements of the world, like earth, wind, air, and fire, and all that
and
stuff.
Carbon?
Carbon is an element, yeah. I think that would go under the earth.
That's nuts.
Oh, dude, here, I was thinking about this. What do you think about this, Corey? Can an earthbender, because they can bend different elements of earth and minerals and shit. Mm-hmm. So we have like iron. Humans have iron in their blood and they have calcium in their bones. So can an earthbender just crack someone's bones?
Dude, I think like it can get to that. If they can start blood bending and Toph can end up learning steel, what's stopping them from getting like really, really, really meta and actually bending carbon?
Meta
like a carbon
bender.
Yeah,
I would I might have to agree with your co-host on this one. I would say a powerful enough earthbender, potentially could bend the iron in someone's blood.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, is it just every element in the periodic table an earthbender can control? Is that what we're going with?
So I was thinking
pretty OP.
I was thinking that, and then like I started getting more formally into the nonsense, and literally every one of the elements that is in Avatar is made up of like, you know, the actual periodic table of elements. So like Earth
Except
is like
for
probably
fire,
nitrogen. Right? I think except for fire, straight up. I think fire is its own thing.
Straight up, I'm a scientist.
Like water is like H2O, and like air is like, you know, there's a bunch of stuff in air. And there's also a bunch of stuff in Earth. So I feel like it's, if you could just isolate
no, that's for waterbenders. They do the ice.
Okay, then I'm thrown off.
Anyways, Corey, this is going to be a segment where Borno tries out really, really terrible jokes.
I'm glad we got enough preface into Avatar for this.
Now that everyone knows exactly what Avatar is and what it's all about, everyone's going to understand these jokes perfectly, and I won't have to explain any of them, of course.
I'm here for it.
Let's just jump right in. I feel like I should preface these more because nobody's going to know.
No, you're good. Just tell them.
Okay, yeah, let's just get
How long we've been recording for a while. That's all been prefaced.
I'm pulling the Tim Ferriss where it's like, I'm going to jump into this. Preamble for another like 8 hours.
Yeah, dude. The
Corey,
bongo drum one.
What's Appa's favorite cocktail?
I don't know.
A mimosa.
Oh, okay.
It's made with Sky vodka.
Hey, okay.
All right. Champagne, orange juice, and Sky vodka.
Where does the Avatar go for both booze and enlightenment?
Where?
The Wine and Spirits World shop.
Nailed it. You landed that plane.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the Avatar go to quit drinking?
AA?
Okay, there you see. You got it. You got it. Yeah. These are getting cut anyway, so I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna roll
AA
down
meeting.
An A-ang meeting.
Yeah.
I'm going to
shit.
keep.
Yeah, that was funny.
Here. I'm gonna power through these. What is Toph's favorite cocktail?
What?
It doesn't matter, as long as it's on the rocks. Air temples are great for drinking wine because you can really let the wine breathe. And last but not least, nope, got two more. I got three more, but all right. Getting blackout drunk is like entering the Avatar state. If you get there, you know you fucked up, and there's probably going to be some property damage to follow.
But don't.
Okay, binge watching the Avatar is like binge drinking. Tons of fun when you're young, but emotional and painful when you're an adult.
Did you really come up with that one?
That's just true.
That was really funny. Yeah, that was wicked funny.
It's incredibly true.
Those are all getting cut. Like, I would be very surprised.
No, we have to keep it.
Maybe like two.
Because I'm going to say this. We're keeping it. And I said it on the air, so now it must be.
Okay, Corey.
We are keeping it, damn it.
It sounded like, I mean, once you recover from all the hearty belly laughs, we can just proceed.
I'm in stitches over here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment to recover.
Yeah, we've been talking for a while before the show, almost like 10 years.
We know a guy who makes stitches. We had a guy on our show who actually makes stitches if you need some.
Yes. He also can tell you what's in air. He's very good with chemicals and engineering.
Yeah, he's also out here slandering my name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, did you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, let's just clear the air because honestly, I came on your podcast today really just to set the record straight. You know, you had a gentleman on a few weeks ago. You just referred to him a second ago. He makes stitches. He's a scientist. Goes by the name of Dazzy Diddles. DJ Dazzy Diddles is his full name. But his government name is Adam Olchik, but he's DJ Dazzy Diddles, just for the record. Anyways, he went through a phase. And on your previous episode, I think it was episode 14. I recommend people go listen to it. It was a doozy. But he's talking about Spaghetti, which is a Tim and Eric sketch, and this man Adam just went fully into the Matrix. He just became Spaghetti in the sense that every other word out of his mouth was a quote from this video. It got to the point where I was hanging out with him one day at his house, and he's talking to his parents. He's just dropping spooky this, spooky that. The look of disappointment and shame on their faces was just evident.
Like DSM-5 level problem.
It was a problem. And we couldn't find any rehab that were willing to take in somebody who was just addicted to spaghetti. Like, they didn't know that was even a thing yet.
It being over 18, he'd have to admit himself. So we couldn't convince him otherwise.
And so we had to sort of come up with our own ways of treating him and of getting him over that hill.
There's some unorthodox methods.
Well, we tried the orthodox. Yeah. Corey, how every single Halloween we're like, Adam, you gonna dress up as Spaghetti? You gonna dress up as Spaghetti? You gonna dress up as Spaghetti? And he goes, No, I'm gonna be Jon Snow. I'm gonna be Jon Snow again. I'm gonna be Jon Snow again.
Jon Snow round 3. Finally grown my hair out long enough, and I know nothing.
Yeah, and we've tried the orthodox measures.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it got to a point where we realized that we really needed to take matters into our own hands. And so, like any professional, I went out and I spent my own money to get a red turtleneck.
Selfless.
And so I'm really a selfless person is what it comes down to. And so we go to his party. He's having a great time. He's indulging. There's nothing wrong with it, guys. If you're of age, I would suggest to be of age before you begin indulging.
Nice.
Anyways, he made me indulge a little bit too much, and we saw an opportunity to do this man a favor. And so did we change him into a spaghetti outfit? We may have. Has he ever spoken of spaghetti since? He has not. I think that's a net win.
Problem solved.
Like, really
honestly, in a way, we're heroes, Knisk. In a way, we are heroes.
Is it like exposure therapy? Maybe something like that. But like, we actualized something he was so hesitant towards going towards. Like, he's like, no, I'm not dressing up as Spaghetti. We're like, Adam, you grew your hair out really, really long and you have a beard.
Subconsciously, his body was trying to become Spaghetti.
Like, you're literally you're taming yourself into like Spaghetti right now.
You ever see or the Santa Claus where Tim Allen like starts growing a gut because he accidentally like kills Santa, and then he starts growing a white beard, and that's kind of what happened to Adam.
And we saw this happening, and you kept denying it.
His body was subconsciously turning him into Spaghetti, and if it wasn't for our intervention, I fear maybe he would have been too far gone. So really, we did a service not just to Adam, not just to his community, but I think to the whole world. Because there's really only enough room for one Spaghetti.
And there's only room for one virus here, and apparently that's COVID. So we had to stop that very, very... I'm not even going to breathe life into it by speaking its name.
So when we had Adam on, he seemed a little spiteful, scornful about this whole ordeal. But ultimately, you're saying you think if he like had enough time to reflect on this, he would ultimately realize that it was for his own good?
Yeah, and I think he'd probably thank me, and then I think he probably would apologize for besmirching my name. I think those two things would absolutely happen.
I would agree.
Besmirching. No, this is almost, you know what, actually? In hindsight, this was kind of a confession booth moment, because I don't think any names I don't think any names were ever actually named.
I would say it's an airbending moment. Myself. Because he cleared the air.
There you go. But I do need to touch on Avatar real quick. I want to move back to that real quick because I got to say one thing. You said it's not for children, and I will say this.
We're not moving back to it because we never talked about it. Remember, guys?
This will also be kept in the podcast. Keep trying, bucko.
Avatar is not for children. I just want to make sure that that's clear. It might be a cartoon, it might be an animation, but it is clearly for troubled adults. Who need spiritual guidance.
That's kind of a hot take.
No. I mean, here's the thing. When the world needed the Avatar the most, which was during this virus, he's here for us. And so many people have found strength in the teachings of that show.
I didn't even connect those two. Because it just got put onto Netflix recently, right around the same time that the pandemic was unfolding.
Netflix knew
right after Joe Exotic.
Right when the Avatar needed him the most. Wait, so does it? Oh my God, maybe Joe Exotic is the Avatar.
Dude, he actually has COVID right now. Did you hear? He's in isolation.
Yeah, even Jesus had haters though.
Dude, we got to get Katara to heal him with her waterbending.
In the honestly, Netflix cinematic universe.
Dude, my brain's all over the place.
Netflix cinematic universe.
Dude, my brain is also all over the place because I may have CTE. Came out of left field with that one. It was on my notes here.
Is this another? Is this another?
It was on my notes, so I can at least cross it off now.
Corey, watching spaghetti doesn't count as a CTE.
The effects are similar, but
absolutely similar.
On the neural level, yes, you can see a lot of damage.
A lot of neurological damage with both prolonged exposure to spaghetti.
What makes you say that though? Did you hit your head? Oh, is this a confession booth? Did you try to
headbutt a door?
Yeah, did you headbutt something?
I repeatedly hit my head intentionally for 4 years straight in high school, just playing sports that I just was like, oh, this is what we do. We just hit each other. And then thank God for Will Smith, because he really blew the lid off of that one.
How the fuck? How does that come into play?
Because he was in the freaking Concussion movie.
I didn't know that. What is that movie?
No, Will Smith is I thought
The Pursuit of Happiness.
That movie is not about his life. I thought that was just about Will Smith's life, where he cracked the code and realized that the NFL and the players in the NFL, I shouldn't be laughing.
Wait, was that Will Smith? It's actually a biopic.
The Fresh Prince. I think it's just a sequel to the Fresh Prince.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air exposes CTE.
And then the CTE mutates, and then I Am Legend happens.
I Am Legend?
Oh God, I don't know. We're gonna have to. No, I'm gonna look it up right now because it's gonna bother me.
We don't have to.
I don't know what year I Am Legend comes out, but I think it's before. It's around the time Superman vs. Batman comes out.
Well, shockingly, the movie was called Concussion. There you go. Came out in 2015.
Shout out to Concussion.
Shout out to Concussion.
All you kids out there who think you have CTE, it's not too late. It's never too late.
This episode is going to give you CTE.
Stop hitting your head.
From DJ Fallout Boy, it's not too late. It's never too late.
Listening to the God's Plan podcast can cure you of CTE.
It can cure you of a lot of things.
Over prolonged exposure, it can actually increase the length of telomeres.
Shout out to telomeres. The end of your... Oh my God. The little end of
Okay.
Short with stress.
Corey, do you want to shout out anything right now?
Yeah, I want to shout out cheeseburgers.
I love cheeseburgers.
Love cheeseburgers.
So,
and I got a bone to pick with one of your other guests. I'm sorry, man, but we're on the topic now.
Hold on. It's so funny.
God,
you got a shout out? Yeah, cheeseburgers.
There's too much going on.
Shout out to fucking cheeseburgers.
Can we do a shout out to caltrops real quick? You thought that would never... God. No, hold on. I want a random fact. Something that you might not have been able to remember the name of that movie, but you can remember a lot of crazy information. The other day you taught me what a caltrop was.
Yes, I did. All right,
what is that?
This is where my nerd side comes out.
I think this is so cool. I think more people should learn about this.
I mean, caltrops, I don't even remember how this came into any sort of conversation that we were having, but it sure did. So we were just talking about something, and I think I mentioned caltrops, and you're like, what the heck's that? Basically, in medieval times, and I think probably even sooner than that, or earlier than that, armies who didn't really have much of a cavalry or were concerned about being flanked by a cavalry would sort of scatter these little spikes. They're basically like little Legos. Anybody who's ever stepped on they don't look like Legos, but this is a shout out to any of the parents. I know you have a ton of parents listening to this. Well, anyone who's ever stepped on a
lot of parents that don't know that they're parents.
A lot of mothers are very fascinated.
A lot of mothers and fathers. If you've ever stepped on a Lego and just felt that incredible pain in your foot, basically a caltrop is just these little spiky things. They scatter them across the battlefield, and horses step on them, and it does horrible damage to the horses' hooves. Shout out to horses, man. They've been taking the shit end of the stick for years on behalf of humans. But yeah, so anyways, it's just a just a military tactic. People in the medieval times used to just fucking intentionally hurt the other people's horses.
Well, they got to even the playing field somehow.
To horse cruelty, I say nay.
Dude, honestly though, like any war movie ever, you know, you're just watching countless humans die. First horse that goes down, you're like, fuck this movie.
I get tight, man.
Yeah, that's what I did with Seabiscuit.
Dude, Hidalgo, that's my favorite horse movie.
Hidalgo?
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
King
the one
with
Aragorn. He rides horses in the Lord of the Rings, too. You're something of a Lord of the Rings connoisseur. You
big fan.
Yeah. Do you read all the books? Which movie is your favorite and why?
Damn, that's a good question. Probably the second one, if I'm being completely honest. It's got some of the best.
The Two Towers.
Two Towers. A lot of amazing things happen. The return of Gandalf the White. Spoiler alert, he comes back.
So he didn't die.
Dude, Helm's Deep, big time stuff happening. The Warg Rider scene, come on, baby, that's just some classic fantasy. I'm really going all in on this nerd thing. So, shout out to nerds.
Shout out to the nerds.
So, what's the biggest difference between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones? So, I've never watched like any of the Lord of the Rings movies.
They didn't botch the ending. That's the big difference.
Thank God.
They landed it. They landed the plane.
It's still a sore subject for me.
It is, man. No, I'm still pretty tight about it.
Think about
well, actually, George R.R. Martin, the author of the Game of Thrones story, actually made a comparison himself to Lord of the Rings. He said, yeah, Lord of the Rings is cool and all. Everybody loves that Aragorn became the king, but nobody really asks, well, what was his tax policy? And that's one of the big things. That's one of the big things that separates Game of Thrones from Lord of the Rings is that Game of Thrones has more politics in it. It has more real practical things going on.
Yes, yeah. Everyone is familiar with Jon Snow's tax policy, which is why Game of Thrones is better.
Jon Snow, dude.
What is Jon Snow's tax policy?
Defer. Oh my God!
He would just defer to his queen.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine that it's not very well put together. He wasn't really known for his knowledge of topics.
You mean a wartime economy too?
Jon Snow, you mean that fucking traitor who let in all the wildlings through the border? He destroyed Castle Black.
Don't be afraid of change, Borno.
Yeah, man, you're sounding like you're afraid of change. Let him in, dude. That would be like Canada. If there was a wall between us and Canada, and then they all just came into the United States, that's kind of that's what I'm picking up on. I mean, when I think about north of the wall versus, I mean, then again, actually, I feel like we would be trying to escape into Canada. Now that I'm thinking about it. Canada seems like it would be cooler to live in right now, at least.
Definitely temperature-wise.
Yeah, because it's closer to the North Pole.
And America's on fire, which is hot.
That is geographically correct.
I'm just imagining a bunch of Canadians jumping over a wall and being super polite to Americans.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how you doing, neighbor?
Oh, that would be
it's get out
They
of
would
here.
help us. They would if we were trying to climb over the wall into Canada, they would be helping us down to make sure we didn't get hurt.
Be oh, you might have to use the escalator over there.
Speaking of Canadians,
climbing over there, come on. Just come on in.
So, speaking of Canadians, we were supposed to get some good news from our favorite Canadian, Jordan Peterson. Did we learn what happened yet?
No, I didn't check anything.
I just want to go on record. He's not my favorite Canadian.
Who is your favorite Canadian?
Oh my God, it's got to. I mean, politics aside, I mean, I don't hate his politics, but it's got to be Justin Trudeau, and for one reason alone. He is the Prime Minister of Canada, and for one reason alone, he had a kickboxing match against one of his political opponents. That is cool. He some guy was one of his political opponents was I can't remember exactly how it started, but basically Justin Trudeau was nah, dude, let's do it. We're going to fight, and we're going to give the proceeds to charity, and they did it.
So he supports violence to solve his problems?
Yes, he's the only Canadian who uses violence to solve his problems.
Sounds like an aggressive Canadian. Should we get a background check? He might not actually be Canadian.
Dude, even George St. Pierre, like he's just like, I don't even like fighting. GSP. He's like, I do not like fighting. I go in there, eat fettuccine Alfredo. But
I forgot.
No, like even GSP, he's like super polite. He's like, I do not like to fight, but he just fucking wins.
Oh, actually, you know who actually probably is my favorite Canadian? Ryan Reynolds.
Is Ryan Reynolds Canadian? I was just about to say that too. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
He's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
He's just man. I was going to say he's a national treasure, but he's not even our national treasure. He's their national treasure.
We can take it. We can take that treasure.
You know what?
We already have our national treasure.
America.
Nicolas Cage.
Speaking of America, I got to get something off my chest, guys.
Get it off,
I gotta
dude.
get something off my chest.
Get it off your chest, man.
I can't believe that I'm going to have to say this, but your guest a few episodes ago, actually last episode, Kyle Bentley, made a horrible, horrible statement that must be addressed. He said that hot dogs were better than cheeseburgers. And that is one of the most absurd statements I've ever heard in my life, for one reason and one reason alone. Cheeseburgers were invented in America. Hot dogs were invented in Germany. In a way, cheeseburgers won World War II.
Hot dogs are Nazis.
Hot dogs are Nazis.
Hot dogs are Nazis.
Case closed. I rest my case.
Well, now we gotta delete that episode.
Yeah,
I know we were talking to an actual Nazi. That's fucking awful for our PR.
Yeah, that is bad. I will say that, Corey, both Knisk and I were shocked to hear Kyle say that, and we actually thought it was an imposter, Kyle. We didn't think we got the real guy at first.
And then he tried to act like there's more diversity in hot dogs than there are in cheeseburgers.
Diversity of a hot dog.
He's like, you can have like a hot dog. You can like have a hot dog with chili on it.
And you can
have a hot dog with ketchup on it.
Like, what is this, Diversity Day?
I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Then I asked him, like, what are sausage, peppers, and onions then? And I didn't hear a response.
So they add relish, like...
And apparently that's a new form of hot dog.
Relish, yeah.
It's not just hot dog with relish on it. It's a whole different... It's an R-dog.
You just grab a handful of relish, just plop it on the hot dog.
It's just a fucking R-dog now.
Now it's a totally new type of hot dog.
There's way more diversity in burgers. You could put an egg on a burger.
Dude, I've seen a burger with a bun that was a glazed donut. Oh, I've seen a burger. Dude, I've seen a burger, and instead of buns, it had grilled cheese sandwiches. Think about that. This was at an Aruga's sports bar.
I saw like one of those.
Shout out to Aruga's.
Like a little Twitter video of like a burger, but the buns are made of like mac and cheese fried. And I was like, holy crap.
It's starch, technically.
It's a starch. It's a sandwich.
Sandwich, yeah.
Wow, man.
Yo. I think I'm a Patriots fan now, Corey.
Oh, because of Cam?
Because of Cam Newton. I think I'm a Patriots fan.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited for Cam Newton. Because here's the thing. It took me a little bit. I had to think about it. I had to go watch some of his workout videos. That man is a monster. Dude is jacked out of his mind. Looks like he's in great shape. Cam Newton has a hunger in his belly. He is ready to go to work. He put out a video. He put out this, it's like a farewell video to the Carolina Panthers, but it's also like a welcome to New England type video. And right at the end of the video, he just looks right into the camera and he's like, I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm at your neck. And then it just cuts out. And I'm like, oh my God, this man is going to single-handedly run over every single defender in the league. He's basically a defensive end. The Patriots now have a defensive end playing quarterback. I'm fired up.
I'm freaking amped, man. Dude, when we were like seniors in high school, when we were playing football, like Cam Newton was like at his peak in college. And I remember like we would always be at the lunch table, just be like, yo, look at this Cam Newton thing. When we first had like smartphones. I remember he was like one of our heroes when we were playing football.
Yeah, guys,
dude, he's
sports.
Great. This is when I should have brought up CTE. This would have been a better place to maybe do that, but it's okay.
Cam Newton only eats fish. He's a pescatarian.
Does he only eat fish?
Yeah.
Is that like a good diet, Nest? Is that something you could actually
It is, but the only concern you have to have is like if you're eating a bunch of fish, there's a lot of mercury in there because we pollute the shit out of the oceans. So a lot of fish can have like a shit ton of mercury. But if it's like, I don't know why I had this vision in my head, but I'm like, yeah, but Cam's got money. He's got to have like his own personal little like pool filled with fish that he just has his own personal like organic fish farm.
Pond or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. I don't know if he actually takes the spear and like hunts them himself, but I feel like
he catches it with his hands.
Yeah,
he probably.
Yeah, he has his trainer just like throw him his dinner and stuff.
He probably just throws a football right into the water and just kills half the population of the fish right then and there.
But for some reason, I imagine Cam Newton having like an organic fish farm like in his mansion somewhere.
That dude, I think you're right. I think you're onto something. He's gonna have to sell it though. He's moving to New England.
Hell yeah, dude! He's moving to New England.
Maybe he can move into Tom's old house. Shout out to Tom. I still love Tom Brady. Never gonna stop loving Tom Brady. If Tom Brady goes to the Super Bowl with the Bucs and gets a 7th ring, I would not be upset.
Oh, he's actually going to the Bucs. That's confirmed now.
Bro, it's been confirmed for a hot minute.
And Gronk's going too, right?
Dude, really? He's stealing my idea.
Dude, I know. It's wild. It's wild. He's just like, where did Borno go? Tampa? Oh, all right. I guess I'll go there too.
He said 3-4 months ago.
What a poser.
I'm sorry, did you just say Tom Brady, our Lord and Savior, was a poser?
No, I'm just wondering how you dealt with all of that. And like, is your loyalty to the Patriots or the Savior itself? Like, is your loyalty to Jesus or the Catholic Church?
It's kind of like saying, like, okay, are you loyal to Darth Vader or like Palpatine? Because obviously, like,
no, the Empire.
No, it'd be like Darth Palpatine Vader. Or the Empire.
Well, Bill Belichick is Palpatine.
Yeah,
he oversaw Tom Brady, who was Darth Vader. Darth Vader Tom Brady was on the ground getting work done for Palpatine, who was just over there with his hoodie on, being grumpy.
Does that
make sense?
Yeah.
So, are you with Darth Vader or are you with the Empire?
Oh my God! I mean, I might be with Darth Vader, and let me explain why. I'll always be able to go back to the Empire. You know, the Empire's always going to be there. Long live the Empire. But this might be Darth Vader's last ride. This might be Tom Brady's last chance to get a ring. He's got the team, and check this out. This would be the coolest narrative ever. The Super Bowl is going to be in Tampa. That's already set in stone. That's where it's going to be. So, if Tom Brady makes it to the Super Bowl with the Bucs, they would be representing the NFC. If Bill Belichick and Cam Newton get to the Super Bowl, they would be there representing the AFC. So it is possible that Tom Brady could play against Bill Belichick and the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
That nuts. That would be crazy.
Dude, that would be insane. That's my dream scenario. And then honestly, like, I don't even know, like, the Patriots fan of me is like, I would obviously want the Patriots to win, but like, my love for Tom, because if Tom gets a 7th ring with Tampa, he's the GOAT forever. Like, nobody can take that away. Like, unless freaking Patrick Mahomes wins 35 Super Bowls and everyone's just stops watching football because Patrick Mahomes just wins every year. That's a possibility as well. Because that guy, that Kermit the Frog sounding dude is a beast. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Patrick.
I've seen him. I've never heard him. I've seen him.
Yeah, he's got a very, very interesting voice. He can ball. Dude can ball.
He sounds like Jordan Peterson.
So, back to the Patriots thing. So, was your love to the Patriots like tied to Tom Brady, or it seems like it's a little bit bigger because you're like, I guess I'd follow Tom, but I still like the Patriots.
Definitely not tied to Tom. Like, you know how there's those people who are LeBron James fans and they just like switch their team every other year when he goes to a new team? Like, that's not how it is with me.
Yeah,
like,
I do that with Cam Newton.
Hey, you know what? If I used to think it was corny, but I don't hate people for it anymore. It's cool. That's cool with me, dog. Because I also I'm digging Cam Newton right now. That he's getting after it, and I respect it. So yeah. I mean, I'll always be a Patriots fan for sure.
But are you gonna buy a bunch of new Bucks gear now?
I might get a Bucks Brady
jersey.
That's crazy. Dude, I don't know if that's the craziest thing I've ever said, but I might get a Bucks jersey.
And so, does that make Gronk like Boba Fett or something?
Dude, Gronk is Chewbacca, and Tom is Han Solo.
Dude, that's actually perfect.
We're flipping the script.
We're changing the whole analogy right now.
Yep, they're now on the light side. They're now on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, I love this shit.
Sports.
So I'm gonna just hijack this interview real quick, and I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions.
Can you intro though? Can you redo the intro?
Oh yeah. All right. Wait, I'm trying to think. Damn, I'm trying to think what my sign-on would be if I hosted a podcast.
I'm imagining we'll just put like a little like random sound bit of something, just like, and then it's like Corey show. Corey's Bland podcast.
Oh my god, dude! Have you guys? I don't know if you guys watch. Oh my god, I'm totally blanking, so I'm not even gonna go there.
I have not seen that one.
No, Parks and Rec. There's so the show Parks and Rec. There's like Kroll. He plays like a really vulgar, disgusting like radio host.
Oh, and Nick
like
Kroll?
his sign on.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick Kroll. He does he plays like a really disgusting, vulgar radio host, like talk show host, and like his sign on is just like a bunch of like farting noises, and then he's like the scoop or whatever. It's just like the most like fucking gruesome sounding sign on ever. I would like to think that would not be my sign on. I would like to think it would be like
anything but that. Anything opposite. I thought theirs was Weenie in the Butt, but that was the Family Guy one. I forgot what they were called. They're like something in the douche. Like it's
yes, that's what it is. The douche. Oh my god. Shout out to Park and Rec. Love that show. The Office is better. Duncan, fight me.
Yeah, Duncan, fuck you. Office is better. I made Borno watch an episode of The Office today. I showed him Diversity Day and how like this could never, ever, ever air into 2020.
It's crazy, man. I understand, our culture's changing. Things are going in a new direction. I understand it. I got no problem with it, whatever. But, The Office.
I do, dude. People are way too fucking soft nowadays.
I mean, I just think that's because people are skipping leg day. I don't think that has anything to do with culture, man.
People are just soft.
People are skipping leg day.
I'm just gonna come out and say
the minute people stopped skipping, the minute people started skipping leg day is when things really started going down.
And I'll tell you how you fix that. You fix it with your hips. A lot of people just don't have the hip mobility to go down to a squat. So you know what happens? They fall to a knees forward stance, which puts excess stress on the knees, which causes knee issues, which causes people to say, oh, well, squats are bad for your knees because they lack the hip range and mobility, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I would explain it where people basically just didn't spend enough time in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Xbox Live lobbies as children.
No, I think that actually had lifelong effects on many people, negative effects.
Yeah, because now that's the anonymous internet like fucking trolls and stuff.
It thickened people's skin. That was a fucking crucible.
I don't know if I agree with that. Thickened people's
The Crucible.
Skin.
That's the name of my show. Give me the horns.
Okay. Go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Corey Geisman, coming at you hot. This is another episode of The Crucible. I got two amazing guests today, so without further ado, let's get into it. First and foremost...
Hi, guys. I'm Borno.
Okay. It's my first time.
And, that's my boy Borno, clearly.
Hey,
and introduce...
I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. Were you supposed to introduce me? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I was going to introduce you guys, but this is my first episode ever, so... I don't really know how this works. But here we go. We're getting right into the questions. First of all, this one's for you, Borno. Truly or White Claw?
Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous to answer this. It's gonna be a tough pick, but I'm gonna have to choose the White Claw with that one. The White Claw is the White Claw.
I don't have a soundboard, so everything's my own vocals here, but
and my favorite flavor of White Claw,
here's the kicker
for the listeners, is White Claw Pure. It doesn't really have any particular flavor to it. It's actually the purest.
It actually doesn't
Two
exist.
ingredients.
That's a myth.
2 ingredients.
You know what I think's
water and alcohol.
hysterical?
Flavorless.
Truly versus White Claw is kind of the modern Backstreet Boy versus NSYNC.
Oh my God, that's so true.
It's like they're the exact same thing, but people have drawn battle lines and they're mad as hell about
But
it.
either way, it's like, yeah, but you're also still, you're trying to hide the fact that you're drinking fucking seltzer. It's like you're listening to boy bands.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't listen
Nisk, you seem to be very knowledgeable. Thank you for coming on my show, The Crucible.
Hey,
my
thanks for
question
having
for
me.
you, is, birds, are they real?
Some.
Solid answer.
We have a law firm that specializes in bird law, so they must be real.
Yeah,
Oh,
Corey's head
this
of our
is
bird
actually-
law
this is-
division.
I'm
He's the head of our
sponsored
bird law
by-
division, dude.
I'm actually sponsored by a law firm, so if we could just cut to a commercial real quick.
So, have you or a loved one been injured by mesothelioma?
Or did you stub your toe or trip on a Lego?
Call the law offices of Chittington and Chattington.
Hey, I'm Chit Chattington,
And I'm Chat Chittington.
and we're here to protect you.
This message was sponsored by Chittington and Chattington Law Firm.
LLC Esquire.com.
So are you guys gonna represent yourselves when you get sued by Drake?
I don't see any other way, really.
Yeah, it's everything is, and it really inhibits a lot of things in my life. Like I want to do a lot of things right, but then the bit or the moment will take over. And it's like, oh, come on, you can't just give this up. I'm like, we have two like fake lawyer bits. Yeah, we have to self-represent ourselves. That's why we lost the Tony's Pizza case.
Yeah.
I think I know how you guys can get on his radar. I think you have to make a diss track.
I'm listening.
I think a diss track where you call out his plan that he claims is from God and be like, that's not from God, dude.
It's not, and we found out. We
yeah,
actually found out how
huge
Drake is a
discrepancy.
big fat phony.
Huge discrepancy in his songs.
In God's plan, he has the message that he couldn't do this on his own. Somebody's watching over him. It's in God's hands.
Without 40 Ollie, there would be no him.
He's shouting at all the people in his life that have helped him. And then
So a narrative of like, I couldn't do this on my own. Like a lot of people helped me, and like the Lord's willing, I was able to reach a success.
So then I was listening to a different song by Drake where he was saying, "No help, that's all me.
And this is All Me by Drake.
All me, that's all me.
No help, that's
Oh
all
my
me.
God.
Came
It's almost
true,
as if
that's
he's
all
just-
me."
Yeah. All me for real.
It's almost as if he's just trying to pump out music at any cost on any topic so he can make money.
It's a fraud. It's dude, it's
a
fraudulent.
fucking scam.
They have total opposite narratives, man, and they're telling the same story of his life
And
of how
who's-
his rise
I'm
to
sorry.
success.
You're telling me that the guy who got his start as a little boy in a wheelchair on Degrassi is not actually a hardcore gangster rapper?
I'm telling you, I listened to 3 Drake songs and I haven't heard the wheelchair once.
He can walk. I've seen him. I've seen his legs work.
Yeah, you saw, dude. Yeah, you showed me that video.
It's fucking shit. And who suffers the most? His fan base, the people that he's supposed to be helping.
But he's lying to, saying that they can do this on their own, and also they have to have 40 Ollie with them.
Yeah, that's just an unreachable standard right there.
It's an impossible
That's
standard
ridiculous.
because there's 2 standards. It's bystander actual. A
I
gram
think you just created a new
metric.
gender. Oh, guys, I have a clingy ex,
Who?
Thread Beast.
Well,
Thread Beast has been sending me emails telling me that they miss me and they want me to sign back up. And
You dropped
you
him.
know,
huh?
I used to be a beast of thread, but you know, now I'm just a beast of
Bed.
me. Did you say a beast in bed? Yeah,
You're
totally.
you used to be a
That too.
beast of thread, and now you're a beast in bed.
Beast of thread.
Boom.
Is that like an aggressive tailor? I'm imagining like a big bull, like in a tailor's working in a tailor shop.
Yo, you know how?
Beast of thread.
So I was thinking, you know how 40 Ollie, we were saying we'll catch him when he's only like 20 ollie
in our time travel
15 ollie.
Our time travel bit.
I'm wondering if he didn't progress in that way, but before he was 40 ollie, he was 3D ollie.
Do you think if 40 ollie was on his own by now he'd be 80 ollie, and that Drake held him back?
AD ollie or BC ollie?
8D ollie, 8-dimensional ollie.
Oh, 8.
If anybody should be suing anyone, 40 ollie should be suing Drake for holding him back.
His real name is like Oliver.
It's like Ollie Schreiber or something.
Oliver Shrive.
Yeah.
Which obviously doesn't sound as cool as 40 ollie.
I don't think Drake's real name is Drake. I think it's like Harry Potter.
No, it definitely is. It's Drake Malfoy, no?
It's that. It's that guy from.
I'm getting like an in-air fist bump on how we just think that. This part we'll get rid of. Eric's embarrassing moments we're keeping.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to cut so much out.
This is what happens. We're just gonna power through. We're gonna record for 4 hours, and then we're gonna have 30. We're gonna have about 30 minutes of usable material.
It's a usable material.
So every now and then, I like to sprinkle in a phrase or a saying where I look at the timer and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, we've been recording for 25 minutes already." So that way, when I like cut out parts, it seems like we haven't been recording that long.
Oh my, look at you. Just giving away trade secrets.
Anybody who wants to get into the lucrative podcasting industry.
Making bank.
Number one tip.
So back to your original question of, are all birds fake? And I said some. So there's something that has been haunting my nightmares. That literally it's nightmare material. And I showed Borno the other day. It's called a shoebill stork.
The shoebill.
And if you just want to look that up on your cellular device, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Wait, shoebill stork?
Yeah. It's scary, dude.
Listener discretion is advised here. If you Google
this thing is real?
Yeah, dude, it looks like a freaking like puppet dinosaur.
Don't hold us accountable.
When you see videos, dude, they're awful creatures too.
Dude, it's just got deep black eyes that just look like they want to just devour the world.
That beak, dude. When it just like opens its mouth and stuff, it sounds like a freaking machine gun. It's so scary.
What is the freaking evolutionary purpose of that beak?
Oh, well, so here's how they eat, at least, is like, I don't remember which end goes in first, but I think they'll just like put the body in their beak with the head sticking out and then just and close their jaws and just decapitate whatever they're eating.
Dude, nature is so badass, man. They just don't even care. This guy's got like a guillotine. It's got like a guillotine beak.
Dude, It's scary, man. And then like there's a video of like how they treat their young. So they're just like survival of the fittest. There's like two little birds, and the narrator's like, "This bird is begging for water, but as the mother leaves to get water, we see what happens to its young." And like a little bigger bird, like two baby birds, one of them just starts pecking the shit out of it with like a giant bill still. They just like look like stupid little stork babies, and it's just chopping the shit out of it. And then the mom comes back with water, which it holds in its giant monstrous bill, and it looks, and then it just looks at like the bird that pecked the shit out of it, and the bird's looking up. He's like, and he just gives that bird water. He just walks past like the crying bird that's like, "Mom," and he's like, "Nope." He wins for beating the shit out of you.
Straight up.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, this thing does not look very nurturing, so I'm not surprised. This guy is a beast. If you're listening to this right now, just imagine the freaking scariest looking bird you can, and then you nailed it. That's what this thing looks like.
It's like if Tim Burton was trying to make Big Bird.
Yeah, because some people, I feel like if you tell them, "Oh, imagine the scariest bird you can," they're imagining like a jacked, like scary eagle. It's like, no. Skinny limbs, giant beak.
This thing, yeah, it's kind of like the uncanny valley a little bit. It doesn't even look like a living organism.
They can't walk for like a while because when they're born, their beak's so heavy. They have to like learn how to do that.
It looks like it's not real, like it's a puppet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Birds. I'm not even convinced that they're real. To be honest with you, I think it's a government spying program, and I think they're just little robots.
The human pig hybrids are out there.
They're drones. They're just little drones. They're spying on us. I also think squirrels might not be real. I don't know.
Since squirrels.
I'm just trying. I'm working on this theory.
Did we accidentally book Alex Jones for this episode?
I might need to change my coaster.
So, Corey, Alex Jones got caught watching transgender porn.
Oh, did
he? Not only did he get caught, but he also tried 3 different ways of defending himself, and it just ended up making him look even more guilty about it. Because I was when I first found out about it, I was on the fence. Okay, maybe he could have been doing this for research purposes or looking at it because there was some conspiracy behind the video. Literally anything. Like, if he tried to use the excuse of saying, oh yeah, I was only watching that because somebody told me that an alien walked by in the background of the scene or something, I would have kind of believed that coming from Alex Jones.
Like that scene from Signs where the alien walked in front of the freaking window.
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
That thing used to haunt my dreams.
So he didn't do anything like that. Instead, he just said, oh yeah, we've all had porn pop up on our phone before.
So here's like the full story, because it's like, even how it starts out is crazy. A link came on like our YouTube, and it was Tim Heidecker and Alex Jones like in the title. Tim Heidecker is the artist known as Spaghetti. He's the Tim and Eric show. And we're like, whoa, we have to watch this. Like, we were planning on watching something else. And then he's talking.
Stop everything. We need to watch.
Dude, literally, it was a stop everything. We need to see this moment, like 10-minute video. And Tim Heidecker is on a podcast talking like a person, like calling things like weird.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, what the? We're like, dude, this is Spaghetti talking right now.
Yeah.
And apparently he's got a nasty Alex Jones impression. So whoever the host was, he's like, oh yeah, did you hear the thing about Alex Jones getting like caught with transport? And he's like, no. And so they show a video, and I guess Alex Jones is just rambling, and then it cuts to his phone because like his phone was showing like an article, even though he's got like 50,000 pages of like fake articles on his desk. And then he goes to like presses the tab button, like in maybe Google Tabs or like Safari, and it shows like all of them
for like a split second.
For a split second, and I guess somebody like went in there and they saw like, dude, the title was so vulgar. Like very, very vulgar. Like we might have to put
What was it?
It was something relieving word for chicken hunger.
T person relieves cock hunger. Insatiable cock hunger.
Here's my take on this whole situation. I would never want to be a public figure because I'm not saying. I mean, dude, people like what people like, but dude, just imagine just like you whatever you like getting aired out. Oh my god, that would be awful. Like, trust me, I don't feel bad for Alex Jones. That guy is a horrible, horrible person. What he did to the freaking parents of the Newtown victims, what a jackass. But damn, dude, I would hate just for like, because there's every famous person, whether it's a politician. By the way, I'm not a politician for anyone listening. I know that Borno introduced me as one. I'm not an elected official. But
you're my politician.
I play one on TV, so I gotta understand the confusion.
Corey,
so
you know that whatever you're saying though is going to be picked apart by hundreds of thousands of our listeners. You're literally going to be famous after this.
Remember in 2020 when Corey Geisman said he was played a politician on a TV show? It turns out that TV show never existed.
Canceled.
And that TV show also, that didn't exist, had Nazis in it.
Corey, you telling me?
Oh my god!
Are you telling me that you wouldn't watch trans porn?
Bro, I'm telling you.
Are you that backwards thinking?
I'm telling you that there is probably many, many things that I would and would not watch that I will not be discussing on something that we're going to post on YouTube.
Well, you know what I just found out recently? Because I'm not afraid of fucking cancel culture. You know what I just found out? Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how.
We are reasonably afraid of cancel culture.
So,
yeah, like moderate.
I found out.
Dude, I'm represented by Chittington and Chattington, so I'm not afraid of anyone.
Yeah, you're safe. Dude, you're safe. They got your back. Chittington and Chattington. So, I found out of a new genre of porn, and don't ask me how I found out about it, but it's called quicksand porn. And it's literally just either the girl is like clothed or unclothed, and she's just slowly sinking into some some patch of quicksand somewhere.
That sounds like a very weird thing to get sexual satisfaction from.
Even fully clothed?
She could be fully clothed, and it's considered like a fetish. Yeah, I think it's because the guys or whoever watches it just enjoys watching people struggle.
This is why we need to like get rid of the internet or something, dude.
Bro, on that note, I just want to say, get off Facebook.
How does
And
that have to do with
Zuckerberg, if you're
Facebook?
listening, get off Facebook.
How does that
Dude,
have to
I
do-
joined the All Things town we grew up in, and
All
it is
Things
the
town we
most
grew-
toxic thing
my
I've
God.
ever seen in my life.
All
I thought
Things-
just
Yeah.
like looking at the first few comments
All
of
things
like the
Greenwich,
Trump tweet were bad.
Connecticut.
Yeah, all
Dude,
things
why
to
does
Greenwich,
every
Connecticut.
town need to just have a horrible
is probably
cesspool of a
worse.
Facebook page?
Dude, I didn't know how
it-
awful it was, man. It's just so like I can't think of another word except for toxic. Like either way
Yeah,
you look at it,
for
any way
sure,
you look at
For
it,
sure.
Is there some other town that has a bad one too, or something?
probably. I don't
Dude,
know.
I'm pretty sure like every, like, I mean, might be a hot take, but I would argue that most towns have like a little public Facebook page or even a private Facebook page where people like post about their dogs and stuff. But right around 2016, all those Facebook communities just became the most toxic, horrible places ever. And yeah, it's unfortunately dragging us down one day at a time. Actually, I didn't let
It's
that
kind of
group they were
like
talking about this.
it brings out
So-
the worst. It kind of attracts the worst people, the worst members.
Well, nobody's
of that
trying
It
to-
brings out the worst in people more so. Like I
Everyone's
see
trying to
some
understand
trolls. I
each
see
other.
real people just posting troll shit.
That too.
I'm
Yeah.
like, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here, dude.
There's a lot of
People
that
are
going
just
on.
talking past. People are just talking past one another. Nobody's actually trying to come to any sort of agreement or like common ground. It's,
Okay, but secretly everybody loves that shit, and that's why they're all on there anyways.
They love doing it. I don't like seeing it. Get that out of my sight. I'm not gonna get LASIK for that shit.
You know, why do you really check Facebook? Why do you really check? Why do you really like follow certain pages or follow certain Twitter accounts or leave certain people on your friends list?
Because I'm like a member of the community.
Everybody's
That's why.
addicted to drama, dude.
Yeah, but it's like
Love-
fake ass shit. It's just dumpster fire shit. It's somebody says like a tagline from any political side, and then they all just respond with "Check your facts." What? Obvious, clear, dude. Facts. Are you kidding me? Ha. Get educated. Ha ha ha. And then they all go back to like their wives or their children or their friends and be like, "Yo, I totally triggered this dude. You should have seen.
Yeah.
He was talking some nonsense." And I'm like, "Yo, check your facts," because like, oh.
And now that and
Every
now it's just-
side.
and their whole argument is just like aired out in public for everyone else to see. It's like a historical document now.
That's straight up what I see. It's like, huh, check your facts. Oh, yeah? Well, haha, maybe you should educate
it's
yourself. Oh, yeah? History. Yeah? What about science? I'm
I was
shut
like,
the
oh,
fuck
Yeah,
what do you?
these- you're literally
couldn't
like-
see it over there, all the way over here from.
the right side of history. Here I am on the right side of history looking at all this shit, and I'm like, dude.
oh my god, yeah, it's crazy what people will put online. It's just gonna be like memorialized forever on Facebook, and it's like, oh, any other shitty opinions you want to just cement in time real quick?
And then the screenshotting too. So even if deleting the post isn't even safe anymore because people will just screenshot that shit.
Yeah, dude. All the news is just Twitter, I feel like now. Like, it's just like, guess who this person tweeted? And here's a full segment on News Network.
I personally am addicted to drama, dude.
That's why what you guys are doing is a public service, because you're helping to bring back the art of long form conversation. I'm sure the people who are listening to this have learned so much and are taking so much away from this conversation. So
And
you're
if they
welcome.
want to listen to more, they can go to
God's Plan Pod at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and
Yeah.
Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
we got all that stuff up. Slip into our DMs.
Slide into our DMs. Slide into our Discord. Post some nudes if you're a female and listening.
We have some cool segments on the show. One of my personal favorites is called "Listen to Our Neighbors Argue with Each Other."
Yeah, those are top floor neighbors, man. That's new. Usually it's like middle to ground.
That happens sometimes. But one of the segments I do like is called What's Under Borno's Teabag, and it's where we read a little inspirational quote from the teabag tag of the tea that Borno's drinking. Corey, do you want to know what's under Borno's teabag?
I so badly.
We'll lift it up and take a look.
I'll scoop and look.
Today we have peace of mind comes piece by piece.
Oh my god.
There's
Yeah.
a sound bit, not exactly long form conversation, but
That just
Just
changed
as
my
well.
life.
It's not long form, but it's deep form.
it's
You're all looking at the wrong axes, dude.
The depth of that. I'm just It's washing over me like waves of wisdom.
That's definitely the wokest of all Borno's tea bags.
Possibly.
And I've looked under a lot of Borno's tea bags.
We don't know that for sure, though, because Borno has thrown out a lot of his tea bags recklessly.
At least this one hit me, for sure.
Carelessly. Piece by piece, though.
It hit a piece of me. Definitely hit a piece.
That much better off. I already forgot what it said. Mindfulness or something?
It said peace of mind is made piece by piece.
Piece of mind, yeah.
Pizza mind is like made slice by slice.
It's like a wordplay. So you got anything else for us, a host of the Crucible?
I think this is like the greatest first episode of the Crucible, I could have ever hoped for sure. But I think, I'm the Crucibles. We're good. We're signing off the Crucible for sure. Actually, I don't think I'm going to do another episode. This one was so successful that I don't think I could ever top it. So
it was just a one-off. So that concludes that episode of the Crucible. Are you worried people might get confused by the actual book, The Crucible?
Yeah, I was starting to think about what a Crucible actually is, and probably maybe shouldn't name my podcast that, because that's not really what it would be. It would be more just like I would imagine it would just be me. I probably wouldn't even have guests on. I probably would just read Robert Frost very quietly into the mic, help people fall asleep and stuff,
From a host of a podcast called the God's Plan Podcast, where we discuss zero religion, you just need to have a lot of asterisks that say not associated with the Crucible book whatsoever.
Not this book.
You're still going to get a bunch of favorites and likes on Instagram from like @CrucibleLover AOL from 93.
Sean Proctor @gmail.com.
Yeah. Which is always helpful. That's just quantitative data.
Oh, dude, Corey, you share a name with a cool guy in Salem in New England history. Corey Geils or Geils. Have you heard of that man?
I have not. Tell me more.
You might have heard of him in our school days. Corey Geils was famous during the Salem witch trials of Massachusetts. One of the ways that they used to kill people who they suspected of being witches, they would do something called pressing, where they would just put a board over them and they'll just keep increasing the weight of the board. Yeah, and Corey Geils is famous because he was executed in this fashion. And before they actually finished killing him, they asked him if he had anything to say for his crimes or anything like that. And he just legendarily just said, more weight, as in add more weight. And a lot of people take that to mean badass. A lot of people think that's badass, but I thought about it from a different angle. I was wondering if maybe he was just in so much pain that he just wanted
just do it already.
Yeah, he just wanted it to be quicker.
Oh my god, I've been saying more weight every day then.
Yeah,
when you're in the gym, dude. When you're in the gym,
end it.
More weight.
That's true. I was thinking, like, even in 2020, I feel like he would be like, okay, I'm being called a witch. This is so fucking stupid. Just add the weight. I'm done with this shit.
Whatever's. I don't know what's waiting for me on the other side, but just fucking more weight.
I'm ready for it. Like, okay, Cocoa Puffs are getting in trouble, or Cocoa Krispies are getting in trouble because there's a monkey as this logo. Just fucking add more weight.
Cocoa Krispies?
Just add the weight.
Is that, or Rice Krispies? I heard
something like that. Yeah, I'm just like, add more weight. Please add more weight.
When they were popping, I heard them pop.
There are so many legitimate things to be upset about.
A racial slur.
There are legitimate things to be upset about.
I don't know anything about this situation that you're describing, but I think that one thing that we're seeing now is that, like, there are legit very, very important things that we need to be addressing right now, and a lot of it's coming to light. But, like, going after, like, cereal company or whatever, like, I mean, like, is that really the best use of our time, energy, effort? I don't know.
Dude, not all what we're aiming for either. That's not at all what we're aiming for.
Did you guys hear that they're like thinking that they might be able to actually, like, create dinosaurs in a lab? Did you guys hear about that?
I might have saw it as like a quick 2020 blip.
That doesn't
work. It's like we have 8 movies where this is a problem.
Yeah, it's like an online. It's like a joke online now. Yeah, people are like, "Didn't we have enough movies?" Anyway, this is a problem. But yeah, I mean, At this point, I think that's probably going to be what the next step of 2020 is going to be, dinosaurs.
This gets into the convo. We were having a late night discussion last night, actually.
Oh my God, dude. I was hurting this morning.
What are scientists doing, dude? What the fuck? They're making dinosaurs and we have like other shit. They're going to outer space and making dinosaurs. And meanwhile, we can't even get people to fucking stop using gasoline. Or wear a mask. Yeah.
Put on a mask.
Obviously, we already know how to do those things.
Dude, any of your listeners in Florida right now, please put a mask on. Just do it.
Yeah, please stop it.
Whatever you're doing.
Dude, I just heard today that they might have to start canceling festivals and other like events in the spring and summer of 2021 if people don't get their shit together.
Do you ever see the Super Bowl that's set in Tampa?
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Okay, I mean, here's the thing. I don't think that the NFL gives a shit. It's like, I guess Dr. Fauci was like, no, the NFL, you guys can't play. And then the NFL doctor came out and was like, haha, nice one, bro, but we're going to still play. And so, I guess they just don't care. I mean, I don't know. They're a private sort of like league, right? But I don't know what they can do. I don't know what sort of authority they have just to ignore Dr. Fauci, but.
Well, they're probably just like following whatever guidelines. They're taking fake ass temperature checks and shit and being like
grouchy Fauci.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of sports, I don't know what I would be doing without the UFC. Did you guys see the fights this past weekend?
Not this past weekend, no.
Oh my God, man. The fight between Poirier and Hooker. Anyone who didn't see that fight, go watch it. It was a bloodbath. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
but yeah, the UFC has just been kind of keeping me, sustaining me.
That promotes violence, dude. You should stop watching that.
No, it promotes perseverance, man. Hooker got punched in the face like 50 times, and he just kept going.
That's
God. Yeah. It was just absurd.
Definitely a good model to
Would you guys rather get elbowed in the face or kicked in the face?
Elbowed for sure.
Elbow would probably cause less like damage. You'd be bleeding probably more, but I feel like a kick would have more force behind it than an elbow.
Yeah, that's a strong point. Yeah, I think I actually have to agree with you guys there.
I saw a 30-second clip of a crazy UFC fight.
Just earlier, Chad Congo?
Earlier today, yeah. Basically, one of them got knocked out twice, but the ref didn't really stop the fight. Because they were like still like barely
going for fake ass takedowns, pretty much, just touching his legs. And
then the guy who got knocked out two times ended up getting some huge haymaker and knocking out the other guy, and it was just the most dramatic role reversal. Wild.
Dude, that happened in the Poirier Hooker fight. Hooker kneed Poirier in the face with like 12 seconds left in the round, and Poirier was out. You could see his like knees started to buckle, and I think Hooker just started uppercutting him in the face, and just the power of those uppercuts just kept Poirier on his feet. He was just getting pounded away. And he just shrugged it off. Like the round ended, and he was like, "Oh, I guess I'm good." Sometimes monsters, man.
Sometimes, yeah, when they're backed into a corner like that, they get dangerous, and then the other people think that they smell blood, but really they're just walking into a trap, walking into their own demise. The trap of the shoe bill, the shoe bill store.
Shoe bill trap.
Full circle. Full circle.
It'll get you, dude. Shoe bills are tough as fuck. More people should model the shoe bills, parenting behavior.
More people should model their lives after the shoe bills. Yeah, 100%.
You know, if something's just like, if 100%. One of your little kids is just whining for water, and just trying to like claw at your legs, like, mommy, give me some water. My sister beat me up.
Be like, I'm going to go get water, and whoever is still standing gets the water. How about that?
Hey, Borno, can I ask a quick question? Why did you use the example, my sister beat me up? Is that an experience that you've had?
What? You would expect me, as opposed to what? My brother beat me up?
My little brother beat me up. My big brother beat me up. My cousin beat me up. My dad beat me up. My mom beat me up. I don't know.
No, guys, for anyone listening, I'm just calling Borno out because his sister, AJ, could probably beat him up. So I just needed to get that on the record.
Episode 4.
We've had episode 8. Episode 8, we've had her on, and she actually did confirm to all the people that are still curious. It's just been put to bed. I can beat her in a push-up contest.
Oh, wow.
And probably a pull-up contest as well. I have a pull-up bar in my room. I don't know if you know this about me.
Oh, shit, man.
I had
How
one
many
of my
do you do,
clients
like,
the
on a
other
daily
day.
basis? Or what's like, do you have a routine, or?
I don't have a routine because I don't want to lock myself into any kind of formal lifestyle like that. I'm more of an informal kind of guy.
Yeah, that's dangerous. You don't want to do that.
But I was just doing pull-ups the other day, and I was like, damn, I can really do a lot of these. Granted, my legs only weigh like 20 pounds. But it's getting easier each day.
Oh my God, guys, I just got another email from Threadbeast.
They're like begging for you to come back.
Dude, they're offering me 50% off. Yo, bump Threadbeast, if you're listening, bump that up to 75% and you got a deal. You got a deal.
Yeah, they were asking us to plug their product.
Threadbeast@email.com.
Go to Threadbeast at threadbeast.threadbeast.com and enter GPP for maybe.
Dude, we had
to see what happens. It could
to see what happens.
There's a possibility something could happen, guys.
So we had Adam on the show, and he's basically Threadbeast, but on his own. He just learns how to dress well.
Well, here's the thing about Adam. He's an incredibly stylish dude, for sure.
Stylish.
But I will say that I think he only wore Bacon Academy football clothes for like at least 6 years of his life when he was in high school. So
I'd say at least he was like 21, 22.
I said 6 years, even though high school was only 4 years. That's how dedicated he was.
He got held back 2 years?
No, then he changed it all to UConn.
But no, he is very stylish. Adam's got style. I'll give him that for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't need Threadbeast to tell him how to dress.
Bro, that one time he wore the red turtleneck, that was sick.
Yeah, dude, I like that outfit on him. He looked good.
Shit.
Oh my God.
You know,
Knisk, I gotta ask you a question, bud, because I've been having wild, vivid dreams lately, and I'm pretty sure there's a connection to the fact that I just recently started taking melatonin. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, so melatonin, it gets released when you're supposed to be sleeping. So that's like one of the big sleep hormones. So things that kind of block it, especially in our daily lives, are like artificial light, like cell phones and stuff like that. That's why people tell you to limit your screen time in order to produce more of that. So when you don't have very good sleep, like less melatonin is produced, and sometimes it's produced during the day, which gives you like that prolonged, like tired feeling. So that is like one of the big ones that'll make you have vivid dreams. Vitamin B6 also will give you crazy dreams, like way more vivid. Yeah, that's another crazy one.
I've started keeping a dream journal recently. So I started taking melatonin about a week ago, and I've been having such crazy dreams that I started keeping a dream journal in the hope that I can start recognizing when I'm in a dream, and then I can start lucid dreaming. Which is the ultimate goal here. Why? Because I'm bored as hell during quarantine.
Yeah, so here's the thing with lucid dreaming. I taught a bunch of I'm not going to tell them whatever, fuck it. I taught a bunch of my wrestlers how to lucid dream. So here's the big thing is, like, you've heard about reality checks?
Yep.
All right, so here's the biggest thing with, like, lucid dreaming and reality check that I think is the most helpful. So in a dream, you can't, like, when you look at a book or something, like right now I'm looking at a book and it says, like, anyone who competes. So if I were to like put my hand over it and then look at it again, it would be something completely different. It would be like a different phrase or different letters or something like that. So like writing like that in digits, they don't react like how they do in the regular world. So one good reality check I usually do if I'm like in my car or if I'm on my phone is like I'll check the time and then I'll cover it. And then I'll look at it again, or I'll have some kind of like, all right, it says like 7 o'clock right now. Right now in my head, I'm thinking when I move my hand, it's going to say 11 o'clock. And if you do that like at a stop,
you do that like at a stoplight though. You're not just like
not while I'm driving. Or if something like weird happens and I'm like, let me check real quick. And if it goes from like 7 o'clock to like 3:30, I'm like, all right, that's some good evidence right there.
That's some good right there. Yeah. I feel you, man.
But basically, letters and digits don't stay the same. So that's like one big differentiation.
I didn't know that. That's cool. I'm shocked, man. You guys usually got callers calling in, usually Duncans from all over the place.
Well, we stopped the live call-in system. We've moved it to a live fax. And speak of the devil, Corey Geils, we're actually getting a live fax coming in right now. So I'm trying to read this out here. So Duncan, this message comes from Duncan, and he's from Las Vegas, Nevada. He asks, Corey, what is the coolest lucid dream you've ever had?
Oh my God. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I was like, you know that desert town where freaking is it Anakin or Luke Skywalker? Tatooine? Bro, yeah. I was like in Tatooine just kicking it in like the weird like funky alien bar. And this was a while ago. This is probably the only time I've ever actually lucid like dreamt in my life, I think, actually. But I'm like kicking it, and then I just like look over and like, you know, like the dude who gets his arm cut off, and he's just like sitting there looking at me, and I'm like, what up, bro? And then like it just occurred to me, I was like, what the fuck? I don't live in the Star Wars universe or some shit. And then I was like, I think I was just hanging out doing like smoking like space hookah or some shit. And then I think, but honestly, the one thing I do remember is that like I was only able to continue dreaming and having that lucid for like a very short amount of time. Like, you know, in Inception, how like the dream like destabilizes. I woke up pretty quick after that. Yeah, dude, that is some like based on real shit that they did for Inception, because I'm pretty sure like I vaguely remember like only a few. I mean, it felt like 5 or 10 minutes, but like I woke up I think very quickly after that. But yeah, I was just kicking it in Tatooine. That shit was cool.
So the thing is, like when you get like your arousal level too high, then the dream will like kind of destabilize, and most of the time you're going to get thrown into what's called like a false awakening. So you might like wake up in your bed, but you're still in a dream. And you still think like everything's real, but that's when you have to do like another reality check real quick and be like, no, I'm not awake yet. So sometimes when it like destabilizes like that, like if you get like way too crazy, because it's all based on like how your brain is reacting during that time. So sleep paralysis, for instance, is just like your body releasing a bunch of hormones and chemicals that like keep it still, because when your brain is still going like crazy active. So it reaches like a lower level of sleep.
I throw mean kicks when I'm sleeping. I think I'm like fucking David Beckham or something. I don't know. I'm just
a mean kick.
Is that what you're talking about though? You mean like when your body's
like your brain will get like too active. So it's supposed to be, if you can imagine a spectrum, if you will. Like there's like 4 or 5 like stages of sleep. Then there's like normal awakeness, like alpha state, or it's like meditative state, stuff like that. If you go way too high, then your brain kind of like destabilizes and it creates something different. And it tries to like get you back down to like a sleeping state.
I think that it was the space hookah. I think he put a little bit something in it.
He must have. Because that's usually what happens.
Speaking of which, we gotta fucking legalize. Left turn real quick. We gotta legalize marijuana in this country federally. Boom. Yes, we need to legalize space hookahs, and then immediately following that, marijuana, federally legal.
As soon as Elon Musk gets to Mars.
I don't care. Like, I just want it to become legal so that my stocks go up.
Oh, dude, are you I heard the big one is like a Canadian company.
It is, yeah. True, it's called Canopy Growth Corp.
Interesting. Yeah, I would, I've been meaning to start investing. I don't have any. My stock portfolio is
That's pathetic. The big one.
Yeah, bro. It's just it just makes no sense. We need revenue. I mean, at least in Connecticut, we got to legalize. But anyways, I'll climb down from my little soapbox here.
Just from being out in Las Vegas and down in certain places of like LA and shit, seeing how it works with it being like totally legal is pretty weird. And dude, I could obviously see that mapping onto other parts of the country.
Well, dude, I went into drove up to Massachusetts, went to check out the dispensary. It's like an Apple store, man. You walk in, it's fancy as hell. They got a little menu for you. They got a dude at the door who's like greets you and just is really nice to you. And it's like, oh shit, am I in Canada? It's like, no, this is just a legalized state.
They came up with a new word called, instead of a bartender, it's a bud tender.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I didn't know that.
Adds a level of fun.
Recently. A bud tender?
If you're not going to have a pun involved in your business, don't even do it. Don't even start it.
It's 2020. Come on. You're smarter than this. You're better than this.
I feel that. We're all better than this. God, this year is tough, man. This year has been a tough one, huh?
True that.
It's been a test. It's all about how you frame it. You know,
my thing is just like,
you let
what
it crush you and be that little shoebill stork baby that gets deprived of water.
2020 is just a massive shoe bill.
Beats its fucking sibling up and then gets all the water.
Dude, my big thing, though, is that as Americans, we have lost probably the only thing that ever made us great or made us unique, and that was karaoke bars. We can't go to karaoke bars anymore. I thought you were
going to say Harambe.
Harambe.
So sure that you were going to say Harambe there.
Dude, if you track the horrible things that have happened after Harambe, I'm pretty sure it's just the universe getting even.
Could be.
So.
Could be. The universe is sentient, according to everybody I talk to nowadays. Are all
three of them say that.
Elon Musk's asshole.
You know, I will go ahead and say the universe is sentient. It's actually speaking to me right now, and it's saying, "Fuck season 8 of Game of Thrones."
Fuck season 8 of Game of Thrones.
The universe told that to me as well.
That's why I always trust the universe. Told me, don't get too excited.
That's what Harambe was going to tell that little kid before his unfair, untimely demise.
Stop Weiss Bennett off. You are the one. You are the one. I still have a tank top that has like Harambe's picture on it, and it says like 1993 to like 2018.
Oh my god, one. It's sad.
Part of him is still alive.
These trigger-happy zookeepers.
Those damn zookeepers. The big cat community is cool and all, but the gorilla community?
I'm even recording.
Dude, it's only been 25 minutes.
Dude,
25 minutes?
I can't believe we've been recording for almost 45 minutes already. Holy shit, dude.
It's been quite the episode. I just can't believe that we've just covered so many topics. We've covered so much ground. We've solved so many of the world's problems.
I think we've covered everything. Like everything that's ever
we exposed birds.
Yeah.
We should have exposed
one conversation.
You're fake, we know it.
So I suppose this would be a time to wrap up.
We know who the scariest bird is.
This could be a good time to wrap up then. Since we've unlocked all the secrets of the universe. Corey, unless there's something else you wanted to touch, I know you said you had prepared a little bit of some bullet points. Anything like that?
No, we have covered all of the really important topics that I was hoping to talk about today.
All right, so before we do any kind of official sign-off stuff, anything you want to say to the folks or the listeners out there? Any kind of cool quote or anything that's just been on your mind?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Bane did nothing wrong, and he always wore his mask, so please wear your masks, you fools.
Fly, you fools.
Hot dog eating Nazis.
Fly, you fools. Yeah, cheeseburgers are better than hot dogs, and that's that, you know?
Oh, shit. Oh, yo, and we have that STFG free-for-all episode coming up, so Kyle's going to confront you.
We're going to put all the contested thoughts.
Yeah. Everything is going to be put to bed.
Episodes.
On that, we should have actually promoted that.
The God's Plan cinematic universe is like about to come to fruition.
We're having our Thanos episode soon.
We're having our Avengers episode soon. We had like everybody. We had a few sequels.
Things are gonna get. There's gonna be closure for better or worse. It's
either gonna be closure or Pandora's box is gonna get opened a little even more.
So the multiverse of madness, the podcast of madness.
Corey, I fucking love you, dog.
Yeah, I love you boys.
Love you too.
Thanks for having me on. I get it. It was fun. I'm about to go pop a melatonin and just go wild. So
hell yes. Okay. Now, if you enjoyed this episode or if you didn't enjoy this episode, I don't care. Listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. If you want to be part of the plan.
Yeah, bullshit. If you made it this far and you didn't like us, that's some bullshit. That's not true.
That's not true at all.
That's not true.
You're faker than birds.
Yeah.
Facebook group @GodsPlanPod, Twitter account @GodsPlanPod, Instagram. We post nudes of ourselves every day, but they keep getting removed. I'm surprised we didn't get our account banned yet. Follow us there @GodsPlanPod. All right, folks. Have a good night and
be a part of the plan, people.